We're going live, guys. Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing today? Hey, Margie. I am not surprised that you're first because you rock. How are you guys doing today? You guys know the drill. Once you start seeing us and hearing us, pop it in the chat. I'm sure there will be lag. Oh, I'm adjusting my socks. Sorry. Mark's running around behind the laptop. You could just unplug this. Oh, we're live. Okay, there it is. Hey, Margie, how are you? It's weird. Like I start the live broadcast, and then 40 seconds later, it pops up like, "Hey, you've gone live." Like, oh, really? Oh, yeah, I've got books back there. I need to turn this down though, so we don't hear notifications. Going good. You're a little blurry, really? Put this up.
The light behind us making it.
It probably is. Better? Are we better? Are we less blurry? It's probably all these can lights behind us. But I feel like if we turn that off, it's going to be really weird. Turn it off, just see how it looks. Sure, it's going to look really weird. Ooh, it makes me look much, much lighter than I actually am. Oh, the sound is great. Good. I'm glad. So what's going on, Margie? What do you got going on tonight? Besides hanging out with us?
Notifications popped up yet.
Well, she said she can see and hear us and all that good stuff. I got a notification.
Did you?
Still blurry.
Yeah, look.
Oh, very blurry. Hey, that was happening on Sweet Peas Farm, like when we were watching them too, because Mark was like, "Why is it so blurry?" Huh. Oh, you guys can probably hear Bob's Burgers playing in the background. Probably not the most entertaining. That's so weird that it's so blurry. You know how famously good looking we are anyway, so.
How about the escape tonight?
Oh, yeah, we had an escape. As always. It's a goat farm. We have escape. Making hats, not hate. Oh, well, that's good. I'd rather have hats than hate. Are you making hats for veterans like you were making things for veterans last time, Margie? If so, that's really cool. Like, I admire that you do that. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, but we had an escape today. I was outside actually giving Rosie a shot to take care of her rendezvous with flu, so we didn't have early flu babies and it wouldn't hurt her. But yeah, and then I looked out and there were goats in the backyard. I'm like, what? They weren't there when I got home. But then I was giving Rosie her shot, and I noticed there were the two does that were in with flu were actually in the doe pen. I'm like, how did you guys get in here? So it has been crazy today. Goats are ruling my life. Whoa, that was weird. Oh, they're against bullying. Margie, that is so fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that. Because our times are so crazy right now anyways. Ain't nobody got no time for no hate or bullying.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I'm glad that you're doing that. Hey, Indiana Backyard Gardener, how are you?
Hello.
Long time. I know. Long time. I just saw you over at Old Reading Farm. I got there late too. I've been so lazy tonight. After I got done wrangling goats, I laid on the couch for a while.
Yeah.
Felt sleepy. So it's not helping me right now, but I have caffeine to wake me up right before bedtime. But that doesn't work on me anyways. Caffeine doesn't really help me.
Margie said the
blurry is gone. We're clear.
I love the goats.
You love the goats. I feel like Dilly is your favorite goat, Margie.
Mm-hmm.
She's been a little stinker though. She's been not nice because I've been taking her out of the round pen when I feed because she's not pregnant and she's big with horns and is grouchy and won't let the other goats eat. So she's been really hating me lately.
Yep.
Like she sees me coming and she runs, "Hey, old Redding Farm!"
Glad to have you.
I was glad to see you had so many fertile eggs while you were candling. That was really neat.
Yep.
We used to have an old lava lamp that we put the top over the, like where the glass used to sit. We put a covering with like the dot, and that was made it nice to just set it in there, and you could like turn it and look.
Yeah, it's nice because the egg sat right on top.
Yeah, it was nice. Something my mom figured out when she was younger. And now we have that Nurture Right 360 incubator. I'm pointing at it. You guys can't see it, but it's over here. Nothing's in it yet, but it does have like an egg candler built into it, which is super cool. Super happy about that.
I can always use my flashlights.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a weird obsession with like super powerful flashlights.
Except they might cook them. They get pretty hot.
They do get really hot. Like one time he was sitting in the car and he's like started doing a dance in his seat and his flashlight had kicked on. It was burning him. Hey, Mountain Living Homestead, how are you? And Indiana Backyard Gardener, I know this is like my night where I kind of jump from live to live to live. So we start out at like Sweet Pea Farm, then we go over to Old Redding, even though I was super lazy and like lurked for a long time and decided to start talking towards the end. And now here we are. So yeah, it's been an interesting day.
Oh, look at Margie.
Margie.
I joined a challenge 100 hats by August. Blue hats got 50 done. Wow.
Wow.
You have been busy.
That's awesome, Margie. I admire you for doing that. That really is awesome.
Yep.
That's something I wish I knew how to do. It's probably something I would love to learn to do it, but it's like one of those things on the list where I would love to learn to do it, but the time is just never there. Because goats keep breaking out of their paddocks apparently here and having relations when they shouldn't.
Keep us in.
I know. Dilly is a sweetheart. You would never know, but she was a rescue goat. She came to us, and she was about the size of a Nigerian. Yeah, she was like 2.5 years old. She came from a very bad situation, and like when she got here and we got her parasite free and took care of her, she's the biggest goat we've had on our farm. So she's really awesome.
Yeah, she's definitely a herd queen.
Yeah, she is. She uses her. She runs the donkeys around though. I'm like, one of these days, those donkeys are not going to have none of that.
So, Ordering Farm said, "Lava lamp sounds fun. Sounds fun usually works better."
Oh, that's the only bad thing about that. But you guys could definitely see that they were fertile and ready to rock. That's always awesome.
Yep.
Male is one of those. He has an obsession. He has an absolute obsession with flashlights. I think for Christmas I bought him, which means he ordered them and said, "This is my Christmas present." What did you get? 2 flashlights?
Yeah, Surefire and Enforce.
Which to me that means nothing. To him that means like they're nice.
But where we live, it's like really dark. So having a nice light at night to detect something on the field is nice. And then we've got some night vision now too.
But yeah, he does have a night vision scope, which is fantastic. We've like watched deer in the backfield.
Yeah, and they can record, which is cool.
It's super, super, super awesome. We actually used that same scope when Joe was hunting her first deer, and we recorded her shooting that deer, which was, it was good because it's not just so like we can go back and celebrate like, hey, she killed her. It usually is like, hey, did I hit that deer good? I need to know like where were the crosshairs when I pulled the trigger, because they don't go down right away. You got to find them.
Oh, hello, Wolf's Head Forge and Farm.
Hey, how are you guys doing? I love seeing all of your little goat videos on Instagram. They make me smile. I only thought my goats could make me smile. Hey, Crazy Life Homestead, how are you? How's everybody doing tonight? I hope this stream finds all of you guys well, cozied into your homes. It was a warm day in Indiana. It was almost 50 degrees. It was freakishly warm, and it was fantastic. Every time we get these warm days, I just make sure to fill up all of our water troughs so I don't have to tote water to anybody.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, Indiana Backyard Gardener's got a tactical flashlight. You guys would get along. You'd be thick as thieves with your flashlight.
Yeah, got a couple different brands trying them out, but like I said, it's nice around here when you can actually see if you hear a noise what it is.
We had a lot of trouble with raccoons last year getting into our chickens. And just like hanging out, you'd go out and it was about the same time every night in the same part of the yard. You could flashlight and you would see 3 or 4 over there. So it was definitely an issue. But
and when it's bright, it's nice because their eyes like
Yeah.
glow.
So we'll
when
usually
it's-
like scan real quick to see if we catch eye flashes and then turn it off. Because I found like the longer, some are weird. Like it'll like make them freeze and you can get pretty close to them. Others they've probably been flashlighted a lot and they run. But coon hunting with dogs is real big in this area too. So they're very used to that. Mid-North Tennessee here. So what was it like there in mid-North Tennessee? Are you guys, I'm assuming you guys are probably a little bit warmer, but probably not too much warmer.
Yeah.
The sun was out and great in northern Kentucky.
Oh,
You're not too
cool.
far from the Wolf's Head Forge and Farm. What area, if you don't mind me asking on a live stream with people that you don't know, like what part of Kentucky are you? Like, what's your nearest city? You don't have to tell me where you're at.
Because your sister went to what, NKU?
Yeah, my sister went to NKU, and we always go down through, like right through Covington and
Florence, y'all.
And Florence, y'all. You know, we go down through there all the time. Oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like that area, though. There's a lot to do.
It's actually not too far from us.
No, it's really not. It's about an hour's drive, maybe.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, a little bit more there, here or there. But yeah, it was almost 50 degrees, so we've been getting like a lot of fluctuations. So like a couple days in a row, it's been super cold. Like you don't want to go outside. The goats don't want to go outside. Nothing wants to be outside. And then today it was like 50. So I think we're gonna get a couple more days like that. And if it does that, I'm fine with winters like that. Just as long as I don't have to carry buckets of water to water troughs. That is like absolute torture. But you're ripped by the end of winter. You're like, I've got it.
Yeah, for sure.
Warmer and not much snow. That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
We've been pretty lucky on the snow spectrum up here too this year. I think we've only had one pretty significant. It was like 2 or 3 inches. Yeah, it wasn't anything at all. But a lot of people here are saying we'll get like a blizzard in March, which happened a few years ago. We got like 3 or 4 feet in March, like all in one sitting. But that's cool if that happens too. It is what it is.
Mountain Living Homestead said snowed and windy here.
Ooh, how much snow?
It looks like a lot by that picture.
I don't. It does. I don't mind the snow at all, but the windy part sounds awful. That's like a very Midwestern thing. Out here, we're like, it would be great if it weren't windy. You know, that's what people say all the time here. NKU is only 9 minutes away. You're not very far at all, Wolf's Head.
Pretty much neighbors.
That's really cool. I like meeting people that are pretty close. It is really weird weather, Indiana Backyard Gardener. It really, really is. It's it's that type of weather where it really makes me want to get out in my garden. And like I have crocus that are already starting to pop up and hyacinths, which is weird. I know I'm like, stay down. It's too early. Winter is tricking you. Don't do it. And it makes me really want to get out and do things when I know we are nowhere near time to start seeds or to do anything outside other than amending soil, which I mean, who wants to just shovel poop all the time? I want to see things popping out of the dirt.
Yep. Crazy Life Homestead said exactly, Ashley. Hunting season was messed up due to temps.
I'm telling you.
Ex-New Yorker. So
it's ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Do you love it when you like go to work and someone knows you kind of like, did you catch anything today? Like, no. I know that is just like their way of saying it, but that like is such a pet peeve for me. I'm like, no, I did not catch anything. Like I catch things when I fish, not when I hunt.
Yeah. And Mount Living Homestead said, right now we have about 3 feet of snow.
Lord.
Holy cow.
So perfect for snowmen and like making igloos.
So their picture in their, by the name is accurate then.
It is accurate. Wow.
Man, that's a lot of snow.
We haven't had that much snow in a really, really long time. I think like the most we had was like, 2 years ago? It was like foot-ish. And then here it's like I'm sure it's like where you guys are at too, but it's bread, eggs, and milk. I'm like, everybody's making French toast to get through this blizzard. Which, I mean, it's like that right now, any time of year with all the craziness going on. But
Old Reading Farm said, oh no, spring bulbs coming up already.
Yeah.
And then when is the last frost date for you?
So ours is like Mother's Day.
Yeah,
it's like that second weekend of May. And then last year we actually got a frost, like a very hard frost, the day before Mother's Day. It was when we got our bee nuke from somewhere over in Ohio. So like we were bringing them home and I was like, I'm going to keep them in this nuke for a little bit. We're going to make sure they're in the sun because we didn't want to transfer them into do we put them in an 8 frame or a 10 frame?
It was a 10 frame.
Is it a 10? I think it's the 8 frame, isn't it?
I think you're right.
That one's in the 8 frame. And they're underperforming opposed to our swarm. I know Old Reading, you guys were talking about this, but Yeah, I found that our native swarm is just like, they're rock stars.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, like fall time, they are feisty, feisty, feisty. Which I get it, they're protecting stores. But it's like, when I want to go back to the days where I only have like a face net on and nothing else. Like I have shirt and pants. Like no gloves. They're like protective coverage.
Naked beekeeper.
Hey Adrian, how are you?
Hello. And then Indian Backyard Gardener said ours is about April 28th.
So you're only about 2 weeks ahead of us. But 2 weeks is a really big difference
Sometimes
when it comes to planting.
We've cheated and tried to do it, but it seems like
I have to cover every single night and make sure that I'm watching.
And if we don't cheat, it seems like then it doesn't frost right away.
Yeah, we had one night where it was like, we're not going to get any frost, and I had jalapeno plants out that I'd started, and it did frost. It killed every single one of them down to the ground. They regrew eventually, but like that's a lot of growth to just. And then the next day, like when it was supposed to frost, it didn't. I'm like, okay, weatherman, like my food depends on it to be accurate. But it's been kind of crazy.
Crazy Life Homestead said muzzleloader misfired, buck 20 yards away. Had a hard time watching him walk away. Threw gun out in the field. So you got to click instead of a boom.
I had a fellow that I work with. He had that exact same thing happen to him about 2 weekends ago. He's like, it was raining and I sat it somewhere. He's like, I'm almost sure like I got watered down in the action. I'm like, well, with muzzleloaders, that's the bad thing with muzzleloaders though. Yeah, I mean, but if you make contact, you're going down.
Indiana Backyard Gardener said, but I always wait till Mother's Day. Yeah, it seems like it's a pretty safe rule for us when we do.
But I have such a hard time waiting until Mother's Day, so. Or sometimes I start seeds way too far ahead of time, and I'm like I need to get them out because they're getting too big. I also suck at hardening them off too.
Yeah. And Mount Living Homestead said last year this time we had 5 feet.
5 feet, so 3 feet. You're like,
man,
okay, that's
I don't
awesome.
know if I could see over that.
Mount Living Homestead, where are you at?
I'd feel like a hobbit.
Obviously in the mountains.
Yeah.
Where it's cold right now. But hey, Sweet Pea, how are you?
Yep, good to see you guys. And
you got me all excited about Kajari melons. I know they're smaller, but like they just look so cool. Then I was looking at something else because my free Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds catalog came, so I can have even more temptation after I've already splurged on a lot of things here lately that I can't wait to share with everybody. But it's motivation. I'm lacking motivation here lately. On the weekends, I try to film like way too much, and during the weekdays, I'm like, I'm just dead.
Hey, Fleetwood Home.
Hey, Fleetwood Patch, how are you? Good to see you here tonight.
I said Fleetwood.
You can't be, Yeah, you can't be sure Indiana Backyard Gardener.
No.
I mean, it really is touch and go. Like even at Mother's Day, past those frost dates, I can recall quite a few times where it was like, it is not supposed to frost, and I'm
just the luxury of living in the Midwest.
Yeah, I'm pulling sheets off of every bed so I can cover everything, getting all the buckets or feed buckets. It's crazy.
Sweet Pea Farm said our final frost day is end of May. Ouch.
That's right. You were talking in your life how you have a really short growing season.
What were you talking about? A good cool weather crop recently. What was that?
Kale.
Yeah.
Kale.
Yeah. Think about trying it. Maybe.
It's so boring. I'm sure you can dress it up, but like for me, I'm like.
Adrian has a better idea here. She said, "I'm good, just eating pizza."
Yes. Adrian, a woman after my own heart.
Yeah.
Just eating pizza. Yes, I. Too
bad you can't grow that in the garden.
Well,
grow parts of it. It'd be nice if it just came up as a whole.
Yeah, it would. Hey, Guardian North, how are you?
Good to have you guys.
Oh no.
Farmstead Smith said, I don't want to hear anyone's May frost date lines. Mine is mid-June. Couldn't plant until June 20th.
Oh.
Now, is your growing season as long?
I'm sure it's probably shorter though. If her frost date is that late, then it probably gets colder than quicker too.
Wow. Mount Living Homestead said Western Wyoming. That's where they're at.
Wow. That is some beautiful country out there though.
Wyoming always makes me think of that show. What was that? Longmire?
Yeah. Where was Yellowstone out of? Got any Yellowstone fans in here that love to watch Yellowstone?
Yeah. Still waiting for the next the
series. Beth Dutton is my spirit animal. For sure, she's my spirit animal.
And yeah, Backyard Gardener said, I'm going to try some different seed starting methods this year. That is cool.
That's exciting.
And they also got a second catalog.
You did? I got the free catalog.
My Johnny's catalog came too.
well, of course they all have to compete. I
Yep.
got a burpees catalog like a week before Baker Creek, and I'm like, did you all know the
I feel
stimulus
like they
was coming?
think this year will be a good year. They think it'll be a good year for them too. Everybody's sort of
Yeah.
stocking up on
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah.
with
Well, I mean,
2020, it's hard not to.
well, everybody was like, I'm so glad 2020's gone. And I saw me, it's like 2020's gone and now it's drinking age. Welcome to 2021.
Yeah.
Like,
Feels
oh,
like
God.
it already.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. We've been having to take a lot of breaks from social media. I'm trying to just stick to like my regular homesteading forms, and even there's some like craziness happening. So
we moved out to the country for a reason, and that's to get away from everything. So that's what we try to practice, even though it's hard. So Wolf said Forge and Farm said, I'm so bummed I only got one catalog this year.
Yeah, but then it's like so
just
much
send out your
temptation.
email address to them, and I guarantee you'll get about 10,000. It seems like.
Yeah,
Good
but
Lord.
then I realized like, I don't know, I was like circling things in the free catalog, and I went online because I'm like, I'm gonna go and put in an order, and I'm like, all right, that's the free catalog, so it's only like a third of what they have. So then I was in there, and then by the time I got to the checkout, I was like, I gotta stop and rethink this because it was a lot of seeds. I really need to look at the seeds I still have from last year. But I do buy like frivolous seeds, so like I like flowers. But I don't say they aren't frivolous because we beekeep, so the flowers are for the bees. So that's my reasoning for planting things that I can't eat, because the bees can technically use them. So I'm sorry I got talking.
Sweet Pea Farm said, I'm just hoping if I get a good start on the Kajari melons, we will have a long enough season to get a few.
Yeah. You know, I tried to get loofah squash to grow, and I didn't start it early enough.
No, you didn't have luck with it.
Yeah. When I planted it in with zinnias, I wanted it to grow up and the zinnias to kind of like sprinkle around the bottom of this trellis that I had. And zinnias will strangle. They will strangle things. Yeah. I know better than to do that.
She tries to make her garden look nice.
I tried. It never works.
She also said, yes, my kale was still there in December, so Hardy and the goats go crazy for it. Oh. We have a goat named Kale.
Oh, that's cute. I love that.
That is awesome.
Well, like with everything going kind of crazy, I was looking into like tree fodder and tree hay. So I'm also trying to look at alternatives for winter in case. I hate to be like that doom and gloom person, but like I always have to look at, especially when you have a lot of animals, where it's like if things shut down. We kind of went through that when the big C word hit. You know, we kind of were stocking up on feed and pulling in hay and all of our resources. And I'm like, man, if this were to happen in the wintertime, craziness happening in the wintertime, I'm like, I may need to find different ways to feed them.
Mount Living Home says, I looked up our last frost and it said year round. That's savage right there.
Oh my God.
And Farmstead Smith said, first frost is usually beginning in September, but sometimes we get lucky and it goes to the end. Wow. Wolves said, Forge and Farm.
About it no more.
I have to live gluten-free, so I need to grow the veggies this year. Yep. Yeah. That'll definitely help. So
that kind of changes the way you have to go about things.
Yep.
Hey, Tina Ladybug, how are you?
Good to have you
tonight.
Hello, Mama Burton.
Hello, Mama Burton.
Yeah. And Old Ring Farm said 21 to 2020. Oh my dear.
Pretty much was. It's like
still time ahead. Hopefully it doesn't.
I knew it wasn't gonna like stop at midnight, but I didn't expect everything that's going on.
Gardening in the North said, I've ordered so much, but the catalogs keep coming in. Yeah. Once they get your address, it's
that's Baker Creek saying, hey, Murphy, she spent this much over here, but you can't beat me. You know? It's so crazy.
Crazy Life Homestead said, I'm on someone's list for catalogs. Wow.
Well, it's like I think Adrian, it was in your Tuesday morning talk. We were talking about like emails that we were getting from all kinds of different stores, and I told them what I do to you when I sign up for email lists. I usually put his email address. He's like, why am I getting it an email from Michael's or Hobby Lobby?
Fashion stuff too, like was it Maurice's and all that stuff?
Even though like I'm a thrift store shopper for the most part.
Somebody hacked in my email. They think I was weird. I'm sure.
I do not feel upset about doing that. No shame.
Well said. So I got the emails. I'd rather be holding the catalog and browse.
I agree.
Yeah, I do. Like having like it right in front of me to actually look at.
And I hate to be this way, but like I feel like I need to start limiting myself to screen time because like editing and filming and things, like it does sometimes take away from things. So having something like I can look at with them like tangible in my hand outside of the web is good.
A couple flower fans here. Nothing. Farmstead Smith. Nothing's frivolous in the garden. It brings you
So
joy.
true.
And the backyard gardener said, right, I always do that. Look through the cart like, yeah, I don't need that.
No, but the thing is, I do need them. Like up here, I'm like, I have to have these.
Garden in North
Flowers aren't frivolous. You guys, I love you. Thank you.
Yeah, you make her feel better about all the flowers mixed in.
Bad. Well, it's your fault, Old Reading Farm, because you guys do all that flower farming, and I'm like, I want a flower farm too.
Oh, Wolf said forage and farm. I read goats can't have kale. Is that even true?
I've seen people that feed it all the time,
Yeah.
and then I've seen people that are like, my gosh.
I wonder if you do have to watch, because isn't it high in like some type of, is it protein?
I can't remember what mineral it's super high in. You would probably know though, Sweet Pea, because you run goats and you run sheep.
Mm-hmm. Because if it's protein, you probably gotta watch the bucks, right? Because of the
No, the protein is calcium to phosphorus. It needs to be a 2-to-1 ratio, phosphorus to calcium, I think.
Crazy Life Homestead. So have you heard of Harris Seeds Organic? No.
But I may want to look into that. I've been really trying to look at My Gardener this year.
One we looked at, it was like frozen seeds. I remember freeze dried, say it lasted a while.
Yeah, we've been looking at like those survival buckets full of like growing seeds.
Yeah, they're right.
I was really interested because Roots and Refuge, us over at Roots and Refuge, had done like a review on some of those survival buckets full of like a garden seed, and I thought hers was really comprehensive and really interesting. So it made me look at them.
Hey, Homestead Odyssey.
How are you?
Mountain Living Homestead said, so I have no idea when to start anything. I just wing it. As long as it works each year, then you're in good shape. So.
What's Gary say? Sometimes you just got to work with what you got. Hey, Classic OC, how are you tonight?
They said, isn't there a way to pre-frost the ground?
I don't know. You piqued my interest, though. That will be Google worthy once we're done here. Is it spring yet? I know Fleetwood Patch. I was just telling them I've got spring bulbs coming up already. Where I'm like, no, stay down.
Fleetwood Patch also said I'm old-fashioned, like paper books and catalogs. Yeah, I think that's stuff you just...
Yeah, it is. It is super nice, and we've been recently investing in books, like a lot of books, rather than.
I feel like sometimes you get on a website and it's just painfully hard to find what you need or navigate. So
yeah,
the book's always a little bit easier. Plus, when you find it, you just fold the corner over and you got it marked.
Or when you're in the barn and you've like got to figure something out real fast and you have no coverage, I'm like, okay, I've got my books out here in my barn.
Here's your answer on kale. Sweet Pea Farm. Kale has amiflovian or something. It's debatable, but in small amounts, it's probably okay. Or small portions, they seem fine.
Well, that's probably like the tomato plant with goats. They'll taste test that, but it's highly toxic if they eat too much of it because it's a family. It's in the nightshade family.
Yep. Homestead Odyssey said, I really want a flower garden this year.
I love flower gardens. We have a pollinator-friendly garden up front that our neighbor next door tried to like cut it down. He was trying to be nice, but he mowed it all down.
But yeah, the bees will love you for it. So I say go out and do it.
Oh, quick question for Old Reading Farm, if you are still in here. So I have some spring bulbs that I forgot to plant, and I came across them the other day. It's not going to be as bad if I plant them now. Like it was 50 today, so we have thawed soil, but I've never done that. I've always planted them in the fall and let them overwinter or winter over, and then they were fine. I've never planted them this late. So I was wondering if maybe you knew, because I know you guys are like flower gurus.
Crazy Life Homestead said Harris Seeds has some unusual seeds for flowers, roses, and such. I can't look at that. Yeah.
I will buy so much.
And Indiana Backyard Gardener says I could order separately and get for about the same price.
Yeah, this is true. Yes.
What?
She keep coming back up. We went down. Yes, we saw your giant binder full of your two giant binders of seeds. I have to go back and look though, because I'm almost sure that like I had a lot of things in my cart that I probably have left over from years.
Yep.
I have a bad tendency of not looking at what I have left over before I buy. I'm impulsive when it comes to seeds.
We'll say, he said, we just moved this fall. We don't have any garden beds, so part of me feels I should wait till we have beds, but part of me just wants to throw stuff in the soil and see how it goes.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
That's what our pollinator garden is.
Yeah, and a lot of pollinator-friendly plants sometimes are annuals, so throw it out there. Have some bursts of color. Have fun with it. Mow it down, and then make yourself some garden beds next year.
Yep. Hey, David Outdoors.
David Outdoors, how are you?
Glad he can make it.
How are your laying chickens doing? Have they started producing for you?
Fleetwood Patch said, just picked my seeds for the year, and now we wait. TikTok. Yep. Countdown till planting
but you know
season.
how it is with USPS and everything right now. I mean, we're actually getting ready to do some blood draws on our goats to do biosecurity panels here in about the next 2 to 3 weeks. And the lab that I send them to is in California. Like, do not use USPS because like it's blood samples and they have to be refrigerated for what the tests we're having run on them. So they're telling us like don't use.
Pretty
that.
backed up as is.
It's pretty bad.
So
50 there today too, Adrian.
Yeah.
It's so awesome though. It's nice to get a little glimpse of spring in the wintertime. It gets me through.
Yeah. Sweet Pea Farm said, yeah, I don't offer them nightshades. Yeah.
No, but I've had some break out and go over and it's like, no, get off the tomatoes. But I think I had one that scoured out really bad and just gave her like a ton of milk and magnesia activated charcoal and just like made her very unhappy with the things I put into her system.
Pulled through though.
She was fine. Yeah, she was okay.
Yeah. Sunny's Place. Hola, amigos.
Hey, Emma,
sorry,
how are you?
Finished there. Glad to have
What
you.
was for dinner? You must tell us. I have to get it.
Mm-hmm. Your favorite.
Yes.
Fleetwood Patch said, yes, the Sears catalog was the bomb. Yep. For sure.
Actually, Sweet Pea, it's UBRL or is it URBL? It's because they're approved by the ADGA. They're ADGA members, and we primarily breed ADGA stock, so we just kind of go with them. And they're super helpful when things come up. If you have questions, so like even if like I have a doe that comes up like borderline on something, or they're like test them again in 6 months, you can call and they will like walk you like, did you deworm? Did you do this? Did you do this before you pulled blood tests? Because that will cause these tests to come, maybe not come back as true as they should be. So, but they're very, very helpful. I do have a lot of friends that do use UC Davis, but then there's a lot of people that use WADDL, Waddle. So it just kind of depends.
Sweet Pea Farm says, I just sent some coon hair samples and waiting on results from them.
So what are you testing for with your hair samples? Are you guys because I was looking at some coonies and they had like the COI, so I did not know what that was, and I was like, ooh, this one's got a higher percentage and this one's got like a lower percentage, but I guess that's the chance of inbreeding. So I learned something new because I'm starting to do research now that we have goals for this year, because I like to be prepared sometimes.
So see, thanks for stopping in. Have a good night. Yeah. And Sunny's Place said, nothing fancy tonight. We had pork chops, roasted sweet potatoes, and Brussels sprouts.
Well, that sounds pretty fancy
to
me.
That
sounds
pretty
really good. I ordered in.
Yeah,
sometimes
we did the
on
cheat route.
Wednesdays when we do lives, I'm not cooking. I'm making you cook. We're just gonna order food.
Just easier to.
It really is.
Get it done. So.
Joe goes down to his mom's on Wednesday. She picks her up from school, so it just kind of makes it easy for us to kind of work around that. You all know how that goes. It's been super interesting. Now that we have goals, now that I have goals, because I have to wait for the beginning of each year before I can actually set a goal. Yep. Just like diets only start on Monday.
And though we were home a lot this past year with 2020, I feel like we didn't really work on any like projects before. We did more maintenance and
kind of like beef things up.
Yeah,
it wasn't
sulked a bit because 2020 was crappy.
We had like a virtual 4-H show, and we didn't have any softball, and nobody. It was just like blows. So awful.
So yeah, we got a bunch of projects, as Ashley mentioned in the video.
Yeah, we got to catch up. We have like 2 years to make up for now. So
yeah,
but
I think we're ready.
One of those goals is actually going to be coming to fruition, like really soon, like as in this weekend. And I've been doing massive amounts of research because it kind of all came together really quickly, and I'm like, yes, I want them.
Just give them a heads up.
It's ducks.
Yeah.
It's ducks. We're getting our Muscovy ducks. So I found a group of 10.
Early announcements since they're in here.
Yeah, since you guys are in here, I think I'm going to start tearing down like the old garden shed so I can start getting ready for a hut. But I'm actually going to keep them in our kidding side of our barn because it has like an outdoor run that we're letting like the Ross's
a little door for them to get in and out.
Chill out in there. And the Ross's goose, he's lonely. And it's been really hard to find ducks or geese available in this area outside of 3 hours of a drive, and I'm not going to drive that.
So last night I carried Bun around while she's feeding usually. I sent him over by the goose, and he just started doing like circles, these big circles, and the goose
was like not happy. It got its head down like it was going to charge him. I'm like, oh, Bud, don't go over there. Yeah.
So Sweet Pea Farm said, yes, we send the hair samples for DNA testing to prove percentage
Okay,
and COR.
that makes sense. Goats do well. Yeah, you know, because you have 4 goats to the ABGA with their having to do the test with sires, with bucks, with the hair. I think ADGA is getting ready to start enforcing that too, which kind of.
And she
sucks.
also said, yay, coon goals, so exciting. You'll be delighted with them. I'm sure we will.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I don't know, they just seem so friendly.
You never had pigs growing up, did you?
No. I only worked with pigs when I was shadowing the vet, and they always bit me. But I was always snaring them to pull blood, so I was like the person coming at them with a snare, so like I deserved to get bit.
We had them for 4-H growing up. We always had stories about pigs.
Yeah, all their stories start in the pig barns.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this
One
is
year we went,
and
these kids in the 4-H group, or 4-H at the fair, had these pigs that were just covered in mud, like everywhere. And the guy actually just started scraping it off and throwing it on the ground, whatever. And then another pig just came and took out his knees. And the guy's like laying on the ground, covered in mud. And his kids were small. I mean, they were probably like 9 and 10 or something like that.
At the beginning of their 4-H.
And we couldn't quit laughing because when he fell, he just slammed into the gates or whatever. And he's like, ouch, double ouch. So now every time we make fun of somebody that hurts themselves, double ouch. Yeah. It's funny that stuff just sticks with you though. But
I saw you treated yourself, Emma. I was so happy for you.
Just don't be like me. I randomly climb in the trees.
Crashes them into things. Or
usually when she's trying to do a video and then it scares her to death.
It bothers the crap out of me. Like, why do you wait until I'm focused? Like the one I screamed. I screamed. The goats ran. It's
revenge because you like when kids scream when they get scared.
The footage, so I can't even get a good blooper out of it. I'm like, Mark, seriously?
It's only fairness because you like when little kids scream when they get scared.
I love like children that are completely terrified, like that really high pitch.
She'll start crying.
I have to walk away because everybody's like, "Oh my God, are they okay?"
The parents are
laughing. Like I have to walk away. Joe did it last night because Mark was waiting for her to come up the stairs and he threw something over the stairs and it did like this weird fluttery thing. And she screamed. She did the high pitched scream and I about peed my pants laughing. I couldn't handle it. Yes, we found some
ducks.
We did. No duckies. It's Muscovy ducks. Yeah. I don't even know. Like I'm getting two drakes and 8 hens to start out with. So then if one drake turns out to be too much, I'll just eat him.
Braxton Robbins, good to have you here tonight. And since you're not eating Mexican, you can probably stay hooked to the screen then.
Yes, that's why they weren't here last time. It's because they were eating Mexican with their family. I'm like, Mark would approve.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard to stay near a screen when you eat Mexican.
So like the Muscovies were getting there up near Winchester, which is probably means nothing to anybody around here. It's only an hour away. Yeah. Like literally this time of year, it's feast or famine. And for waterfowl, it is feast up north and down south, like 3 hours in every direction. There are tons of waterfowl that are available, but here in this area, like nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
For sure.
It's been crazy.
Smith said, should you have had kids?
Yeah, I mean, she's entertaining.
Yeah.
She's super entertaining. No, but like we had one where like the little girl was scared of a dog, of dogs, and it was a little puppy. And like it came running up at her, and she just
Should we tell them the torture story we had with Joe?
Torture story? What did we torture her with?
Jimmy.
Oh.
It's bad. It's a terrible parenting story.
Okay, don't parent the way that I
parent. My sister just jumped in.
I don't know if Ashley remembers the Tales of Jimmy when Joe was little. Yeah. So Joe was going through like a sassy part of her life when she was she was telling me no. It was like when she figured out like I can say
So we
no.
decided to make up imaginary friends.
So I told her, I'm like, if you do that again, Jimmy is going to run in your room and poop in your bed.
Yeah. And then she started acting up. We screamed, Jimmy's going in there.
She's
and
like,
she'd
who's
get
Jimmy? I'm like,
in there.
Jimmy is like this like imaginary little boy that's going to go in there and poop
like a little leprechaun.
I don't know why that was nice.
But she reacted to it. She'd go booking in her room.
Dude, she would do something like, I just saw Jimmy go in your room. And she would drop what she was doing and run in there. She's like, don't let it poop in my bed. I don't know why that was. We have to be careful because, like, one time in public, she's like, "I hate Jimmy." She's like, "He poops in my bed." Like, we were over at a friend's house. She's like, "Do you guys have a Jimmy in your house too?" We had to explain to them, and they're like, "Why is that where your brain went for parenting?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like, it works. I got creative.
Yeah.
Nobody likes poop."
I should have said that. We'll probably get in trouble. Sweet Pea Farm said we called our Muscovies chicken ducks because they are such peculiar
They
ducks.
are.
Yeah.
The more I'm reading
What
on them,
were
the
you
more I'm
watching
like,
today? You saw the ones dressed up. What were those?
oh, they were runner ducks,
Yeah.
and they have them dressed up.
She was dying
fancy.
laughing.
I was dying. I'm like, look at these.
They had them
dapper
all
chaps.
around in a group, like they were having
there was like a dog
meeting.
in between them, and they had like little top hats on.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be like, hello, puppet. You know, like they look like they're having a very lively, spirited conversation, and I loved it.
Braxton Robbins said our herd is now registered with NDGA. Awesome.
Ooh, that's so nice.
Now what's NDGA? Do you know?
So I know it's going to be a Dairy Goat Association, but
Okay.
M. What is the M for?
I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to think too. I'm like, I'm going through dairy breeds.
We got a couple people laughing at our stories.
I know.
They didn't run them off too bad.
It's funny, but I can only imagine one day when we're grandparents and my daughter's like, Jimmy, this isn't a kid. So I'm going to be like,
let's see if that one carries down for generations.
Yeah, we are very. I don't know.
He was like
why.
a terribly mannered elf on the shelf.
Yeah, but nobody could see him. Only we could see
him.
She could not see him.
Mm-hmm.
And
she knows
I don't know why we chose to parent that way, but she's turning out okay so far.
Let's see, we got ours goods registered with ADGA.
ADGA.
Right?
I do have some that are NDGA, the Nigerian dwarf.
Sweet Pea Farm asking myotonic.
I wonder. Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
Because then you also have what's the boar goat one?
ABGA.
Yeah.
Then there's ADGA, and then there's a Pygmy Goat Association, and there's all kinds of stuff. There's NDGA for Nigerian dwarf goats.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one, IDGA, International Dairy Goat Association.
Yeah. What was the one Dilly was registered under?
USBGA, United States Boar Goat Association.
Yeah, there's so many of them.
It was crazy. I can't keep up with all of them. I really can't. Remind me to drop it.
Maybe that's
too
funny.
Pulled our inspiration.
Oh, there it is. Braxton Robbins. Miniature.
Dairy goat.
Oh.
Okay, that makes sense. That's pretty awesome. I might need to look into that. Now, are they like one of those registries that recognizes other? Because I know like the ADGA does not recognize the NDGA, but it recognizes a different one. I can't remember what it is.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's really neat. I like learning about different registries. Hello, Haas. How are you? I hope you're. I died laughing at your comment on my goat being a complete trollop. I was at work and like I just died laughing. They're like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, this email is really funny." And I'm like, I'm reading the comments to my YouTube video.
Sweet Pea Farm said, "I just recently heard of the U.S. Boar Goat Association." Yes. Now, what was the tricky thing you had to run into, like where they don't one recognizes the other? Or?
I had to go back so far, so Dilly originally was not registered, and I wanted to have only registered goats, but I wanted to rescue her as well. So she was USBGA registered, but I had to go so far back, like in her lineage, and I traced all the different goats in her lines until I found one that clicked on ABGA, because you can go into like a herd directory and look up animals by their specific names and just hope and pray that like the farm name and maybe the name that they use in that registry is somewhat similar. And I found out where that farm was, and I sent them a letter saying, hey, I've actually got, I have one of your prodigy. I want to show her. I want to do 4-H with her. I want to have breeding stock from her because I like what I see from your farm. Could you, they were only in USBGA, but they didn't realize they had two goats that were ABGA registered, and they went from there. So we ended up getting a register. It was a long, drawn-out process. Because
they accept the other way, right? The ABGA, the USBGA.
USBGA will accept ABGA, but ABGA will not accept USBGA. Mm-hmm. And ADGA will accept, I can't remember what the other one is, but they will not accept like NDGA, the Nigerian Dwarf Goat Association. It's crazy. I know, I'm sorry. They can't see that, though.
I know, it's dry.
I had some spittle.
All right, Braxton Road said I raised mini
Alpine.
Oh, that's cool. That's what
neat. So
I
is that
had
like
when I was
a Nigerian dwarf alpine mix, like it is with like mini Nubians?
That's cool. So yeah, I had
do Nigerian dwarfs also.
Oh,
very interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know. It's so tough to keep up with multiple registries, though.
That's what I shared when I was growing up. Was alpine.
Yeah.
I liked them.
It's AGS. Like that's what that is. American Goat Society. I'm sorry. I use their gestation calculator a lot when I'm trying to figure out my breeding
what
dates.
up? Oh, hello.
He's saying what's up.
I know. I thought it was another message. And then Sweet Pea Farm said all the money in politics with some of the registries. Yeah, she was frustrated dealing with some of it.
Well, then you see like these people like blood testing their dogs to figure out like if they're purebred or what they have. I'm like, can you not do that with goats? Are we not there technologically? Can we not just do like a blood test or swab the inside of their mouth or send in here?
Sunny's Place is asking, why do you need to register goats? Sorry, need all of it, so I have no clue and want to get a goat.
So it kind of depends. So for 4-H, we will show female goats, our does, and a lot of the does are required for specific classes to be registered. Unless we want them to go to like a utility class or like a mixed class or what is that? How do they call it when they're grade?
Open.
They're grade does maybe or cross does, crossbreds.
I don't know.
Oh no, he doesn't know.
Mixed.
But in a lot of times, like for registries, it's so that you can keep track of. You get me all off track calling my goats mutts. They're not mutts. They're all registered. But it helps you to track bloodlines. And specific goats may have shown, so they might have like a milk star that shows they have good milking lines. They might have linear appraisal scores that show like based off of like the standard of perfection if you're in the poultry world, that these are all the points they got for it. This is how close to perfection they are when it comes to confirmation.
Recorded grade, there it is.
Recorded grade. I knew Ashley did it. Thank you, Ashley. But they like go off all kinds of different things. And you get more if they're registered.
More money gets taken out of your pocket for them too, though.
It really does. That's why we biosecurity.
Wolf said Forge and Farm says, I raised Nigerian, but getting a couple pygmy goats soon. Want to see how I like the personality of the breed. You'll like them.
I think you'll like them.
Mm-hmm.
I think you will like them.
They're pretty laid back.
There is one lady up here, like in our area, where she's like a pygmy Nazi. She is. She's all over them Facebook groups, man. If someone says like this is a pygmy, or it's usually someone doesn't understand that a Nigerian dwarf and a pygmy goat are different breeds altogether. And the pygmy breed is more strict on like coloration and size and just how they're built. And she will get on. She'll be like, I don't know who told you this, but that is not a pygmy. And they're like, well, it's a small goat. It's a pygmy. And then she realizes like they just don't know.
You can't say too much. You went through that phase with the coloring for a while.
I did go through a phase with coloring.
Tell me about the coloring.
This is not black, brown, and white. This is a buckskin with white overlay with moon spots and a white pole and frosted ears and muzzle.
Yeah.
That's the goat world, guys. Don't get into it. It's crazy.
Believe me, they had more colors in our Chrysler dealership.
Well, especially Nigerian dwarfs. That's why a lot of people like those. Colors.
Yeah.
That's why I like them in blue eyes. I mean, who doesn't like animals with blue eyes?
Off Kilter said, I was going to get a few kinders until my parents got Ewan a pool for his birthday and took up my goat yard. Oh, bummer.
Maybe you could get some ducks to share his pool with him.
Yeah.
You know, like you could just do a trade-off.
Jump in the pool with the goats.
Kinders are really awesome too. Like we don't see many kinders in this area. When we first started, we thought kinders.
Yeah.
Just because of like they're good mothers, they're meat goats, they produce enough milk, they're pretty parasite resistant. They're like all around good homesteading goat. Whereas like a lot of these registered goats or purebred goats, like people breed for color or milking lines, which is all fair and great, but I found a lot of people don't really seem to breed for parasite resistance. So we're using chemical dewormers way too much and creating superbugs. So if I have does now that basically seem to be more parasite resistant and their kids are pretty much the same caliber, I'm probably always going to swing towards the more parasite resistant. That's if like pedigrees and everything, confirmation are pretty close. Now if one's got a great udder and the other one's got just a crap build, crap udder, I probably wouldn't even think to take care of that. Yeah. I'm a snob sometimes, guys.
Hello, Al Creek. Good to have you tonight.
How are you doing, Cody?
So Wolf said, Forge and Farm said, I've been told that my black and white goat before, because she had a gouty coloration and shorter, but she's registered, so I got proof.
I have one like that too. Her name Willow. Actually, his favorite is black, and she's got like a frosted muzzle and frosted ears.
Looks like a pygmy a little bit.
She's actually pretty stocky like a pygmy is, but she's pure Nigerian dwarf. And sometimes that's nice too. And people they want to challenge you on what your goat is, like registry papers, bud.
Yep, for sure. Sweet Pea Farm said it's nice to have the registries to trace genetics over the years. I have 30 ewes and over 8 years,
yes.
it can get foggy with.
Especially if like you've run like the same ram or buck for a couple, because like you may have like an exemplary buck or ram that you're like, I want to keep these genetics as long as I can. You have to be so careful about what you run. Line breeding isn't a terrible thing if it's done correctly, but line breeding is like rolling the dice. You have 50% chance of it. I'm sorry, a 50% chance of you expressing all the great genetics, and a 50% chance of expressing all the terrible genetics that could also lead to like unhealthy animals. So you kind of have to just pick and choose. Hello, cousin. How are you? I'm so glad you're in here tonight. How are you, Audra? So good to see you. Cody is late like normal. It's okay, Cody. You're here. You're here. That's all that matters. How are your bunnies doing? How are your goats doing? How's everything doing, Cody? I have to ask. He's a fellow Hoosier, so I like need to make sure that I keep up with my fellow Hoosiers.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Sweet Pea, about registries tracing genetics. Because a lot of people are like, I mean, especially people that are getting in new, they're like, what are all these things? Especially for symbols on like dairy goat registries. Like, what's this star and what's this plus and why does this buck have a B and why does this goat have why does this doe have an M?
Or all that. So Wolf said Forge and Farm says line breeding frightens me.
It should. I mean, unless you have animals that like their quality is just like so good that you're willing to roll the dice, but like you are 100% rolling the genetic dice.
Yeah. And then like we had a family at the fair. My sister can talk about it too. They kept breeding, inbreeding, and basically
they get smaller. That's how you get smaller animals.
And then they had some odd birth defects, so it's definitely risky.
It is super well, especially if you repeat inbreedings over and over and over. I think if you like had a line breeding, because you're like, I have a stellar buck and I have a stellar doe, and I want to see what I can get, even though they may share like a sire somewhere, like pretty close to the front part of their registry. But like if you keep doing it, you add more and more problems that can happen.
Sweet Pea Farms rotate in new rams every couple of years. This year I used 3, so definitely need the pedigrees.
Yeah, it's super smart though. I mean, I was filming when we came home, and that was something I'm like, well, I'll have to wait and see like where Flu's at and his usefulness, because depending on how many does I retain off of him, because I like his genetics, I'll probably have to rotate him out very quickly or start stacking bucks so that I can rotate. But that's when you really do have to make sure, like, who's your daddy? Because we don't need that to happen again.
Off Kilter said, if it works, it's line breeding. If it doesn't,
this is true though. Like, and that's what people will say. They're like, well, you know, it was born without a butthole, so it's incest. I'm like, or it's a fantastic animal, so we line bred it. You're exactly right. It's all in the eyes of the beholder of what your outcome actually is.
Like, there it is. Off Kilter is laughing at it.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true.
Andra said, good to see you too. I'm learning about goats right now. Definitely are.
If you come and tune up when we talk about goats, a lot.
Yeah, Ashley's always willing to talk about goats.
Always. Yeah. Always. And it's funny because like his mom, we were at church, and his sister and I both breed Nigerian dwarf goats. So like we'll sit there and talk about like our goats, and like somebody will walk up and they'll try to change the topic. We're like, and then we go right back to goats because that's just what we like to talk about. One of these things, hey guys, what? So I am. Oh look, you guys want to see like a fun? Dude, that one was airy.
I don't know where that sound's coming from. It's like somebody's gasping. Yeah.
That was on top of my Foxfire book because the two coincide.
Yep. So you can see I'm reading the book about a spotter's guide to farts, and then she's reading Foxfire.
I'm reading Foxfire. So hey, who in here has got like Foxfire books? Because I recently just discovered these. Like I've heard a ton
later
about
in
them.
her church started talking about them a lot.
Yeah, I've heard about them, and I've seen like a couple excerpts like through homesteading forums and things like that, but I've never actually like sat down and read them. So like I've been collecting and asking to borrow these. They are super duper interesting.
Oh, Mountain Living Homestead said one day we want to get goats. Well, with 3 feet of snow, they might be.
Well, they probably like it. They make it work.
They will.
You give them a playground where they can walk like above the snow. Yeah. Mine sometimes don't like the snow, and then I feed them out in the snow.
Cody Owl Creek said, I have been wondering about line breeding. I have in rabbits in the past, but I don't know if it was safe with goats.
I mean, it's the same with probably with rabbits. You're really rolling a dice. I mean, you could get a really superior animal, or you could get a very mutated and genetically unsound animal. It
Wolf said Fortune Farms said those commercial farms on some of the Facebook groups don't even seem to care. I'm sorry, I don't want to stick for them.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I 100% agree.
This is the top comment of the night. Sweet Pea Farms said pull Maury Povich in the party.
Who is the father?
Point at one of the bucks. You are the father. So.
And the test shows that was a lie. You are not the daddy. Like I Maury Povich. I love
back
that.
In the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
Funny how you miss those things.
Jerry, I don't know why, but it's been coming up in my YouTube feed. Probably because I've been binge watching like MasterChef or Kitchen Nightmares on YouTube, like in my free time. I don't know why, but I love the way Gordon Ramsay just like destroys people verbally. That's probably not a healthy thing, but it's just he says the most witty things. Like our favorite one here is that chicken was drier than a camel's butthole in Desert Storm. Yeah. Like we say that all the time, and it's because we saw it on Hell's Kitchen.
Yep.
It's probably not the best thing to have, but we use it.
Yep. For sure. So Wolf said Fortune Farm said nope. Can't talk goat all day long should be a t-shirt.
There we go.
There you go.
We'll open a merch store and that's gonna be
you put our farm logo next to it.
You can talk about goats all day long.
Yep. You definitely could too.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. He's like, yeah, I hear about it.
Not Living Homestead said we have a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't know. I love my goats, and they were really something I never thought that I would like. He grew up with goats. I grew up with like horses and chickens, and I shadowed the vet for years. But goats were not on the top of my list. And he was like, "You will love them," and I was like, "Yeah, okay."
I'll just say I love MasterChef and Kitchen Nightmares. Gordon Ramsay is one of my future ex-husbands.
He cracks me up.
Said he has a TikTok where he just roasts people cooking.
I've seen it. I've watched it,
awesome.
And it is. It's fire. I love it. It's total fire.
Oh, hey, Swarmstead.
Hey, Swarmstead, how are you?
That's a cool picture with all the bees.
I know. He talks about really good things, too. I missed your live, though, about your challenge today. We'll have to go back and rewatch it.
Well, said Fortune Farm said my husband binge watches old Gordon Ramsay shows.
And so I'm not the only one that's like, I'm just going to watch this guy verbally abuse these people.
We watched one that's like a newer one. He looks a little rough, though.
Yeah, well, and his TikTok, and now, Hosh, you can probably attest, like in his TikTok videos where he's roasting, he looks a little puffy to me. Like,
doing all the roasted him a bit, I guess.
Like, you need to sleep for about a year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a little bit, a little addicting.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we like to binge watch? Bob's Burgers. We've been watching Bob's Burgers a lot.
Yeah.
I have been sneak watching The Handmaid's Tale in the mornings, and then Joe gets up at like 5:45. I'm like, go back to bed so I can watch my show in peace. So I get up at like 5 and watch it. But it's scary. It scares me a little bit. But yeah, I don't know.
Binge watch. Yes, there's Yellowstone, which we like that one a lot.
Yeah,
so.
I hated their last episode.
I heard they got criticized for their trucks because they all look brand new. They're like, you have to have dirty trucks if you're on a ranch.
Well, that's true. But maybe they wash them every day. Haters?
Yeah. Farmstead Smith said, I lost respect for him, though. Gordon Ramsay, he made a Sammy with just French fries on bread. It was like so good. That's awesome.
Oh, that's funny.
And when you're Gordon Ramsay, you get away with that. I mean,
he can kind of do that where like others like. I love it when they serve him something. And I was like,
I think so lowly of you now.
Like I can make a Sammy with French fries on it.
Yep.
At least put something on it to dress it up, Gordon. Like a pinch of rosemary, you know.
So Audra said, I better get to marrying him while he's still dry enough to cook for me.
Yeah, you may need to get on that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much longer that's gonna last. You've been watching Elementary. I've been wanting to watch that, but I haven't been able to pull the trigger on it yet. Bob's Burgers and King of the Hill have like consumed our household for like the last 3 weeks. It's been really crazy.
Unless I'm home alone, then, or when
but when he's home alone, he watches like
Bitcoin currency
currency trade, and he watches like gun stuff.
Yep,
That's his
all
thing.
YouTube is.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's
And what's the other one? I can't remember.
What's the other one? What?
I don't remember what
That
it
we're
was.
watching?
Yeah.
Oh, Life Below Zero.
Oh, yeah.
I've been
that
watching
one's
Life
good.
Below Zero.
What was it? Port
Recovery.
Recovery.
Port Recovery.
Yeah.
Port Recovery. Or is it Port?
Port.
P.
In Alaska. It's on Disney Channel. It's pretty good, too. It's
Yeah.
a bunch of people that live in Alaska.
Yeah, some of those people, the way they talk, I'm like, I want to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like, they're so down to earth, or they say it how it is, and I'm like, don't dress it up. Tell me how it is.
I wanted to try the Handmaid's Tale. Hannah Slap refuses.
Yeah, it's a little much, but I think...
I just said spry, not dry. Like I read it.
Oh.
I was like, well, he is looking old and wrinkly, so maybe. Yeah. Dry worked in that context too. And then went along with the sandwich.
Is hardcore. I'm in season 2, and I read the book, and like when season 1 stopped the book, I'm like, okay, let's see what you do with it, and I've been very pleased. But like, some of those people, I'd like want to strangle them to death in real life. If that were like real life, I'd be like, y'all, yeah, you've given up your right to live.
Sonny's Place said they're not French fries, they're chips.
Chips, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right, they're chips.
I
like some cheese. I know. No, he's got to get like super, I don't know, like.
I don't know. You don't like it, but I like when it, like lunch meat, putting chips on that. That's always good.
It's wrong.
With the sandwich.
It's
like a nice crunch or crisp.
No, you
That's
eat them good. Next to your sandwich. You eat your bite of sandwich, finish it, swallow it.
All right, guys, you gotta settle this one. Which way is it? I'm sure it's gonna be mixed. Because like I've gone places and it's like half and half.
Yeah, like put oleander on your French fries with sandwich.
Oleander.
Yeah. No, it's not. Is it oleander? No, what is it? Coriander. It's coriander. Oleander is poisonous. Don't put that on your sandwich.
Yeah, just gonna put on my sandwich, guys. So
coriander, not oleander. Yeah. Oleander will probably.
We need a disclaimer for this video now because you're telling people.
So funny.
I was like, I don't think it's that, but I wasn't gonna say anything. All right, first I supposed to say elementary is a good one. Main char is a beekeeper. Oh, cool.
Okay.
So there was an episode that was like wrong, too much bee space. They're gonna get crazy about the bridging.
Because you've never had to clean up bird comb or bridging it, especially if it's got like larvae in it. And you're like.
I ruin movies for Ashley with guns because I'll be like, well, that would be like he'd be counting terrible trigger discipline, or like he'll be like, it's good to know that Glock held 23 rounds instead of like standard 12. I'm like, okay. Yeah, and all the shotguns make like the pump action sound no matter what style they are. I can't help it. It drives me nuts, but I have to speak out to it. So. Farm Assessment says Andy uses observational flags on his roof. Huge eye roll.
That's so funny.
That's awesome. I'll just say I've been watching How to Cure Hides and Make Buckskin on YouTube.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
He did like a brain tanning class, like when we were doing.
I don't remember much of it.
You probably don't, but we would love to start learning that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sonny's Place said, how sad. I haven't been watching.
Okay, that means this is not rotting. Yeah. Like mine rots. Or it makes me think and overanalyze things like around me where I'm like, this isn't going to come to Handmaid's Tale at some point, is it? Like I work.
Sam Adrian said, I like potato chips on my Sammys. They're good. It adds an extra crisp.
No!
She said no because she went to a very legalistic college and she fears flashbacks.
I
want to watch it because,
it's
good.
Yeah. It's good. Like, it's worth me getting up at 5 and, like, watching when they're... And I don't know why. Like, he could probably totally watch it, but it's just, like, how polarized. And I feel like because of how things are starting to polarize in society now, it scares me. And I'm like, I don't know. You would probably very much like it.
If I don't, I'll pick up my phone.
Yeah, he'll just leave or not watch it. It's cool.
Alfred Cody said... Chips are not supposed to go on a sandwich.
Yes. That's Cody.
I always like when people call it sandwich.
Sandwich.
Duck Dynasty, remember that guy would always call it.
Sandwich. Was it
ham sandwich? No, it was the cousin or something like that.
I like the short bald guy. He could eat like 2 dozen donuts all by himself.
Little rotund guy. Praxer always said, I love y'all channels. Do you guys know a lot about raising chicks? If so, can you do a video about it?
Sure. Yeah. We've raised quite a few chicks. I don't know, Adrian. You might probably have some chick raisings. I do have like one from back in the spring when we first
I
got.
can get some soon. Why don't you grab that and show what?
Yeah. Well, I need to get eggs, and my girls are not laying.
Because you're gonna do a video, I think, on it soon. But
Yeah. So
we had somebody come by and they've asked us a ton about.
that person wanted me to buy an incubator so they could buy chickens off me.
Yeah.
I'm like, go buy your own chickens. Like, don't harass me. And then here I am, lo and behold, a year later with an incubator.
Shouldn't. Oh, here we go.
You see it?
So we should have eggs to try to hatch soon.
Yes.
And it's got a built-in candler,
Egg
like
candler,
you said,
yes.
and egg turner.
Yeah, egg turner, and the water is put in from the outside,
I
not the
remember
inside.
as a kid having an old school, and you'd have to manually do that. So.
Your IPS address is exposed.
Oh.
We just got like a thing on my
We're being hacked.
laptop that came up. I'm like,
we're not responsible for what happens anymore. Audra said they wouldn't have made pickle-flavored chips if they didn't want you to put them on Sammy's.
That is so disgusting. I love you, cuz. I love you.
You're missing a gene there. Didn't get the right one there.
No.
Didn't get passed down.
No.
I don't know if I could watch that in the morning. Oh my God, it would ruin my day.
I don't know. Like, it doesn't really bother me too much in the morning because, like, I don't know. What else do I like to binge watch? I don't know. I'm stuck on The Handmaid's Tale right now.
I get relating it to now. We started watching Designated Survivor 2 days before the Capitol storming. What's Designated Survivor?
Is that now? It's almost like from what I've read.
One we saw the other day. Songbird was that?
Songbird.
And it's about COVID.
It's 4 years of freaking lockdown of COVID,
Yeah,
and they
it evolved.
Yeah, like you can't go out of your house without scanning, and then
weird.
if you scan, like they do like a temporal scan, and if it shows that you're too warm, then they're like, do not leave your house for.
It's like a horror movie based to it because it's made by the creators of
5 to 6 hours if you try to leave your home.
The Purge, Michael Bay and stuff.
So it's The Purge in a Quiet Place.
Yeah.
The people that made those movies, so you can imagine. I will probably pull the trigger, but right now it's $15 to rent it. Yeah. I don't really want to. Yeah. I don't want to scare myself for $15.
We're not paying $15 to watch 2020 again.
Yes.
Farmstead Smith said there will probably be lots of chick videos this coming spring.
Yes, Braxton, there will. And I did make one, like a one-on-one on chicks, like things that you need to have for them. It's way back, like in the springtime, though, in May.
She said I'll have any chick raising vids because I started YouTube in August.
Yeah, that's true. Spring is like the time. And you have like a lot of people right now that are doing incubator videos a lot, especially like in a little bit warmer climates. Right now, I don't want to put anything under a heat lamp. Heat lamps are bad. I do have like a heating plate that they could go under, but I've never tested that in cold winters, and I'm scared to trust it in colder temperatures. So
Saints Place said, I've had coworkers ask about sponsoring a chicken. Not sure how that works. I haven't done it.
Do it. Side hustle. Sponsor my chicken. Like, good work, man. Who
sounds a little dirty. Yeah. I don't know if that sounds good to like write on the side.
Well, if you call it like a chicken and not like a chick or what they call a rooster.
Farmstead Smith sponsoring egg chickens so they can get eggs.
That would be kind of cool. Like if they pay you so much to like sponsor and they get to like name the chickens babies.
Mountain Living Homestead said we do not have TV here, so I've missed some of the ones I used to.
That's not a bad thing.
No.
Trust me, like
Sometimes
but I guess like if you have a computer or a phone, it's just as bad as having a TV.
Yep.
I don't watch the news.
It probably makes us more entertaining if you don't have a TV.
Yeah, keep that TV out of your house.
Farmstead Smith says we were sort of doing like pay ahead. They give us 20 or whatever, and they get a dozen eggs a week for 5 weeks. Well, that's cool.
Makes sense, though.
It's not a bad plan. And all of a sudden the comments popped up.
Oh,
I tried to hatch chicks one time.
They can be really fickle.
Yeah.
They really can. So don't be discouraged.
We've had some rough spells with ours.
Yeah, we've had it with goats.
Then we had cats get one of our batches. Yeah, that was fun.
I've never come so close to like
when to skin a cat.
To skin a cat.
Yeah.
Then they
were
all
expensive
of my
ones
chicks.
Too.
All like 20 of them. Went in there one day, I guess like they found a way into the brooder.
Yeah.
Nothing left. I was so angry. They were expensive chicks too.
Yep. Farmstead Smith said, I think I will have to try a heat plate. We got one of those recently.
We have one. It worked well.
I have a stand for my heat lamps. They're chained to them, but I still get scared.
Yeah.
If I added on a smoke detector. Yeah. Didn't you say you saw something recently where someone's
Oh,
barn?
it was a dairy goat farm, and they lost over 1,000 animals.
Yeah.
Like just gone overnight.
I remember as a kid there was a big barn
We
that
almost
caught
had
fire.
a barn fire.
Yeah.
We just had baby goats, and Joe thought she was helping, and she wanted to adjust the heat lamp and didn't tell me. The next morning, this was like at 8 o'clock at night. The next morning, I came in, and the barn was completely full of smoke. It was why are you laughing? It was horrific.
I'm reading a horse's comment here. You'll see in a minute. It's hilarious.
Okay. I was like, he's laughing at my distress. But like, luckily nothing happened, and Joe got scared a lot that day because I'm like, you could have killed every animal in there, never touched the heat lamp. She had like untied it.
Yeah.
We had it chained and tied up, and she untied it because she was afraid the baby goats were cold.
Yeah. The wall was black and everything.
Got this. Yeah.
I hear. For less than a cup of coffee a day, you will receive a picture of your chicken hang on your fridge. But you need to play that music. What was that? Like
the elevator music?
No, like the ones when they have like the sad like snow leopard, and it's like yeah. Joe, when she was little, she'd always hear that. And, like,
she would like cry. She'd be like, oh,
those poor leopards. Like the music makes it more dramatic.
It is. It's dramatized with the music, my dear.
Far's husband said, Emma, you should do a buy me a coffee membership. There you go.
A picture of your chicken. I know. I totally think somebody needs to do that.
Al Craig Cody said, we just go cheap and buy our chicks from CSC.
Especially like when they start to feather out and they start trying to fly out and they're like 50 cents per chick. I'm like 25 cents and I take all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we heard a local one had ducks lately.
Yeah. All Rural Kings here already have all their chicks out again. I don't think they stopped.
Not Living Homestead said, we do not have a computer either. So you guys are great.
Oh, wow.
So I guess you have to watch us on the phone.
Yeah, are you on your phone then? I'm guessing you're on a mobile device.
Or she's watching us through the window.
Ooh, hello.
Sunny Place said, I was thinking they get to name the chicken and get a weekly silly picture.
That would be cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
I would like that.
There's like a live stream somewhere out there of someone's chicken coop. It's like goes nonstop.
Yeah, he watched it. And if you pay, you can feed the chickens. Like once you do like a certain amount, you can pick to feed them like whatever tree it's
like
hooked up to
activates their feeder. Yeah.
I'm like, this is ingenious. Like, why did we not do this?
There's one of those bubbles too in the person's backyard. It's been going on for like 12 years. Have you ever looked on? You ever looked at YouTube?
No, I don't.
I typed live in there, and it's just amazing.
And he's like, let's watch Times Square. I'm like, or let's not.
Yeah,
like, I don't
see what's going
give
on
a hoot about Times Square right now.
Then like that one time we were talking that
the train.
The train was cool.
Yeah. Emma, you checked out the train, didn't you?
Yeah, she had the name right. It was like Cowgirl or something like that.
Rail gal or something.
Yeah,
like
right.
Oh, that sounds dirty too.
It's Farm Assessment. Oh man, there you go. New business adventures.
I mean, you get a side hustle going.
Safe Place said, or buy chicken feed for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, whatever pays the bills within legality.
Believe me, there's some crazy ideas out there nowadays.
Yep, we're on her phone. Oh, Mountain Living.
Let's see. Audra said, we had chickens growing up. They were awesome until it took most of them to get butchered. And we left 2 hens to keep as pets, and they would sit in our windows and stare creepily while eating their Oh, no.
You remember Bertha?
Yeah.
She's real good. These are your babies.
Farm System said, I help run a local chicken keeping group on Facebook. We tell people every freaking year, do not use heat lamps in your coops.
Every year, man, it happens. It's crazy.
Yep.
I won't say that we don't have heat lamps. I actually just got one from Premier One, like the newer, like encased ones. But those can still like catch fire.
Yeah.
It's like last ditch if we have to use a heat lamp. Like I have a goat that is sick and cannot maintain their body temperature. Her
into putting all the heat waters outside too.
Yes, he did. I usually run like my water trough with the water heaters in my barn.
I'm always scared.
And this year he's like, let's not, just in case. If we lose the fence, it's not a big deal. He's like, if we lose the barn with all the animals locked in it, that's a big deal. So I totally like. Bye, Cody. It was good having you. I'm glad that you got to stop in.
Swarm says I can't watch those commercials. My eyes start sweating. The arms of nature.
Oh, that's right. Adrian does have a live here in about 3 minutes.
Yep. So we're
probably going to go ahead and sign off too, so we can go watch and participate.
Let's wrap up some of these comments. Yes, on my phone. Farmstead Smith said, "Yes, I've seen that live. So cool. I want to do that, but my chickens don't stay in one place."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think he has a pretty good camera angle.
Yeah, he
that
does.
shows like
he does. And like I have chickens, and I'm like, I kind of want to feed his chickens, but I'm like, I don't want to feed
Sonny's
my
got
own
it. Look,
chickens.
that train feed is
Yes,
awesome.
Rail
Right?
Cowgirl.
It's like soothing. It's like just a monotone. Just
Cool, whatever.
There's all kinds of cool ones out there.
Whatever, you know.
You need to a goat one. There is a goat one out there. We looked up that one time.
I would love to live stream.
There's 2 or 3.
A premiere. I'm sorry, Adrian. It's a premiere. Yeah, I'd love to do like a live stream of like a goat birth here at some point. Maybe
the one had it.
That,
they had 2 or 3 pregnant ones in a small pen.
Yeah, it's a very Weedham and Reef does it all the time. So
yeah, that's cool.
All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and sign off so we can all go over to Adrian's channel and watch her premiere for some things that you might need to buy for beekeeping. And we hope to see. I will not be here next Wednesday. I need a break. I started off like my roll was slow at the very beginning of this live. I need a break, so not next Wednesday, unless I feel guilted into it. But if it's right now, not next Wednesday. So thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate it as always. And we'll have a new video out for you guys on Friday.